I have been having a lot of conversations with people lately, and I feel this is a much needed topic. I'm not saying that your girl is 100% every day, all day, but I feel like I have cultivated listening to my voice and trusting myself. And so I want to share with you three things, but I'm going to throw some bonuses in there, but three things that really help me trust myself and also just live my life and be free. I feel like I've been doing a lot of traveling. Like literally, it is July. I have literally been traveling since November of 2023. I literally been so many places, so many different continents. And yeah, so it's been very interesting. And so I've been having a lot of conversation. I've been meeting so many people, and it really breaks my heart to experience there's so many people who really don't know themselves or they really don't trust themselves. And so I thought to share this video, put it out into the world, and just share, what I do and what works for me. And hopefully, you can get empowered by what I'm going to share with you in this short video. So, so number one, I would say just go ahead and reflect on your past. When you reflect on your past, you will see a lot of things um, revealed to you. Like if you literally just wrote down everything that you're proud of yourself for, if you took a moment and you wrote down all the things, that hurt you, if you wrote down like all of your most defining moments in your life, all your saddest moments in life, you will see a thread. You will begin to see like, man, like, I was in this situation and then this happened. Like, this is a thread in my life. And when you really just take a moment to pause and reflect on your past, you will see evidence of who you are. You will see evidence of the type of person you are. You will see evidence of like what you're meant to do. It is so funny. And I see people hopping on. I'm streaming on a couple different platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and all these platforms. So definitely say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. But I was talking to the van and we were reviewing some of our YouTube content for over the past years. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like we have been like talking about this one topic for a while and we have not went all the way with this topic. And so it literally pissed me off a little bit because I've always kind of talked about the same stuff. I love personal development. I love self-growth. That is I love being on a journey of excellence and self-mastery. And I've been talking about the same topic since I actually started talking on public, let's say doing content and stuff. And I'm just like, why we haven't gone all then? We've kind of veered off, but we always end up around, empowerment, self mastery. So when you look at your past, you will see evidence of who you are and what you want to do. So I really suggest step one, just spend some quality time with yourself. I would say minimum 30 minutes. And the reason why I say 30 minutes is because 15 minutes go by really fast. I don't know if you time block, but if you set your timer for 15 minutes and you're doing a task, that 15 minutes go by fast. So honor yourself, spend time with yourself, some quality time, and do an activity of you reflecting on your past. You literally writing out, again, some things that, you were great at, some things you were not so great at, write down different things and look at the thread of your life. Honestly, I've done this plenty of times and I know that there are other people who teach it, but if you actually want me to teach you or be live with you and actually do that activity, definitely write it in the comments below and I will do that with you. But that's step number one. Reflect on your past, look at your wins, look at your challenges, look at the core theme of your life and make it evidence, like, no, like, okay, boom, I'm always in a leadership role. Like, I've always been kind of the leader, or I've always been the caretaker, I've always been the person to make sure everybody was straight. Like, just trust that, put your own words on it, and do that in a quiet setting. Number two, we got to get out there. I stand for adventure. That's why I just be doing the most outrageous things. I'm always traveling. I'm in a super long distance relationship. Like, I'm always doing like the extreme of things, and I'm always like willing to try things multiple times. So I always suggest, experience life, be adventurous, take risks, and in that you will definitely see yourself. Like, it's so funny. Like, a lot of times I just get on a plane and travel by myself, and then I have family members like, oh my gosh, like, how do you travel to all these different countries by yourself? Or how do you do all this stuff by yourself? And honestly, I don't think about it, because I actually I get anxious if I'm not doing something, if I'm not seeing progress. But when I'm actually like being super vulnerable, being uncomfortable, stretching myself, that's actually where I find my freedom. So you definitely get to trust yourself. But I would say experience life. Like, there's so many beautiful things to life that other people are living this and it's their reality, but we don't know because we are hermits and we live in our environment and we think this is the way of life. I disagree. That's why I'm always been super adventurous. But when we get outside of our community and we go to other communities and we explore and we are meeting new people and we're trying different foods and we're learning how other people do things because they don't have access to the things that we have access to, it really does change our mind. And it makes us, super vulnerable. It makes us like really expand, like, oh my gosh, like, I live in this little bubble and these people don't even know what this is, or these people do things so differently. It really does change. So be vulnerable and be willing to be wrong and be willing to release that ego. But definitely vulnerability, adventure, and it also increases creativity, because the more things that we are exposed to, the more we have to add to our ways of life. An example is all of us with this doing TikTok app. But like, you see how people like do different things and you like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you're supposed to do that, or I didn't know, like, this is how, like, the funniest thing, I saw a TikTok where this girl, she took off the lid of a cooler. So it's like the plastic cooler. She took off the lid and she opened the top and she filled it with water to freeze it to keep her stuff cold. My entire life, I've never known that you're supposed to use the top of the lid to actually freeze it in order for it to keep herself cold. We always just bought ice. And so me and my mom was talking about that, but it's like there's just things that we don't know. There's just things, that from this moment on, I think like that's how we're gonna be freezing our stuff, right? But now that I have that extra tool, it makes me expand and be like, what else am I doing that I just grew up doing and everybody do around me, but it's not really it, right? So definitely getting more evidence and being vulnerable and increasing our creativity and just being in an energy and an open heart of discovery. Like that, when we are more open to living versus being right, or being, sometimes even being heard, it really opens us up to new experiences and new understanding and knowing about ourselves. So, and even like different things, it also teaches us like what we are for and what we're not for, who we are and who we're not. And we get to just embrace that, because this is our journey, this is our life, and it matters. The third step, are you following? Let me know based on what I said. If anything resonated with you, I would love to hear what resonated with you so far. Number one was definitely reflect on your past. Number two is experience risk. Number three is intuition. We all have an inner knowing, and whatever your spirituality, you may call it something different, but we all have a spirit self, we all have a soul self, we all have our consciousness, and it makes us up. that is so beautiful. Like, I believe that is one of the most beautiful things, to actually sit back and realize, like, I am experiencing life as a human being. Because I could have been on this planet as a tree. I could have come to this planet as an animal, right? But I came to this planet as a human being, and I'm just like trees and animals, but the only difference is I have choice. Most animals operate out of their instinct, and they live off their instinct. Human beings, we're not like that. We are so special that we can literally choose and change and go off, right? Of course, stay on our instinct, but we're not victims of our circumstances. So with that being said, the biggest thing to take away from this video is literally trust your intuition. Like, you are so special that you get to honor and you get to know that. I wrote it specifically, so that's why I'm looking down. You get to trust that you get to trust that you know what's best for you and what you want. It's your choice. Like, no one can tell you what's best for you. No one can tell you that you should be doing this or you should be doing that. Like, this is your version of success. You got the um beautiful space to have choice and to honor that. Like, what you want matters. And so your intuition, like everything that you're made up of, that inner voice, that inner calling, it is right. You are right. And you get to be faithful and obedient and follow that path. So trust your intuition, trust that you know what's best for you, and also trust that you know what you want. You know what you want. Like, you don't need to get outside validation to seek and to know and to feel important. You are good enough just because you matter and you're deciding to be faithful on your journey. So I would just say some other tips. That was number 3. So number 1 was reflect on your past. Number 2 was experience life and take risks. Number 3 is trust your intuition. Trust that you know what's best for you. Trust that you know that you know what you want. I want to just add some other things about this. Is definitely just honor yourself. Like, man, as I get older, I'm just like, one of the biggest lessons that I've really been learning lately is that, man, it really is a journey. And just pausing and just honoring, like, who I am and where I am. You know what I'm saying? I know this is probably so cliche, but whenever you actually trust yourself and whenever you actually honor, like, your journey, like the things that we grow through as human beings, like, okay, yeah, we have the beautiful power of choice that I was just talking about, but the things that we grow through as human beings, like, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. We get to every single day, many times of the day, continue to be graceful and be loving and be kind to ourselves, be forgiving to ourselves, because life, honey, be life. It is life, be life. And so really honor and reward yourself every moment that it comes up. Like, they say, I don't know who told us not to talk to ourselves. I don't know who said that, but I be talking to myself and I feel completely like, whole, right? Because a lot of times I'm literally just affirming myself and just telling myself, girl, I'm so proud of you. Like, oh, girl, thank you for that. Or even just like, just thanking parts of my body, like, oh man, I'm so glad, shout out to my instincts or whatever. Cause like, if I'm about to fall or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, we get to take time and really nurture and cultivate ourselves, because like, if we are not nourished, if we are not fulfilled, how can we dare go out and serve others, be parents? I'm not a parent yet, but be parents, or be good friends, or be a productive colleague. Like, how can we do that if we're not fully nourished? So I highly, highly, highly invite you on this journey to trusting your intuition, to definitely honor and reward yourself. be gentle. Be gentle with yourself, and be open, right? Be open, be vulnerable, that there's just some things you didn't know up until now. And as you do that exercise about reflecting on your past, there are going to be some things you be like, man, I wish I would have handled that differently, or I wish I would have reacted to it differently. And then you know what? You get to embrace those emotions, and you get to say, you know what? It's okay. I didn't know. I didn't know. I ain't know no better. And now I am presented with the opportunity to move differently, or to fix that problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed with the opportunity. I see where there was breakdown in my past, in my history, and it's okay. It's okay. I'm a human. I'm going to win some, and I'm going to improve from some. And when we take that moment as an improvement, it really changes things. So I have definitely been been experiencing ego within myself. But I will say, just because I'm so ready to be in a different place in my life, to get to that next level, one of the biggest blessings I have been doing over the past couple weeks, because this is actually really new, when I actually understood what my ego was, and how my ego was like sabotaging me low key. And so over the past few weeks, I've literally been so intentional to make sure that whatever I'm doing is from love, and it's from spirit, and it's from a spiritual place. Like back in December, at coming into the new year, my partner, he was like, babe, everything we do is spiritual. And that, it just resonates with me so much. Everything we do is spiritual, and we can go down the rabbit hole. Yeah, I don't know what you believe in, but like literally everything we do in life is spiritual, whether it is from a place of love or from a place of harm. It's still spiritual, it's energetic. And me releasing the egotistical part of myself, and also just, and it hurts, because it feels like this is who I am, like, this matters, and this is such a big deal. But when you literally step back and you look at different moments in your life where you let your ego control the situation, where you let your ego win and the other person had to lose so you could feel better about yourself, it really wasn't worth it. And you probably don't even wear that. You know what I'm saying? You probably don't even remember that. So I would just say, on this journey of trusting yourself, just release that ego, honey. And I'm still learning it. Like I said, for the first time a few weeks ago, I was actually faced with experiencing ego. I'm like, oh snap. Like, this is, I want to separate myself from that, and I just want to operate from a spiritual being. I want to make sure I'm contributing my soul self. You know what I'm saying? And not that consciousness that is going to keep me safe or make me right, and the better person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be in alignment. I want to make sure I'm living from a place of love, and no ego, because it gets dangerous there. So I don't know if any of this resonated with you. If it did, make sure you definitely go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like it, share this with some friends, family. But I wanted to, like I said, I really wanted to talk about, how to trust yourself, because I'm just running into so many people who are, maybe we need to be talking about this whole ego conversation, and I'm still learning it. So I actually get to do a little bit more research, like actual study about it, and not just from my own experience. But these were the things that have really supported me into feeling like a whole complete being. Like, I mean, there's some things that, I get caught up on. I'm not saying like I got it all, but when it comes to like trusting myself, I always know that everything always works out in my favor. I know that I'm always going to be supported. Things are always going to work out. And I'm really just faithful in my journey. And so I really hope these 3 steps really supported you. I would love to hear any of your feedback. Let me know where you're watching from, and I will see you on the next video. Talk to you later.